Have you ever stopped to think about how much control you really have over your choices? I mean, when you sit down to browse your favorite streaming service, or when you waltz into a store with a shopping list in hand, do you feel empowered? Or do you get the nagging sense that something is off? Spoiler alert, it's not just you. The truth is, from the moment you click a link or step into a retail space, scarcity, companies are using sophisticated strategies to guide your decisions, all while making you feel like you're the one in control. It's a masterclass in behavioral science, and it's designed to nudge you towards specific outcomes while keeping the illusion of free choice intact. Let's start with the power of defaults. Picture this. You're signing up for a new streaming service. You fill in your email, create a password, and then you're faced with the subscription options. But what do you notice? The premium plan is pre-selected. It's like a little nudge saying, hey, this is the best option for you. But is it? This tactic capitalizes on our natural tendency to stick with the path of least resistance. Behavioral economist Richard Thaler has shown that these default options can significantly influence our choices, whether we're deciding on organ donation or which subscription tier to choose. By the time you realize you're paying for features you didn't even want, it's too late. You've been gently pushed into a corner and you didn't even see it coming. Now, let's talk about anchoring. Have you ever walked into a store and seen an outrageously priced item right next to something more affordable? That $2,000 TV sitting next to the $1,200 model. It's not a coincidence. This is anchoring at work, a cognitive bias that skews our perception of value based on the first price we see. You might think you're making a rational decision, but your choice is often molded by that anchor rather than your actual need. You might walk out thinking you got a deal, but in reality, you may have just been led down a path paved with clever pricing strategies. And then there's choice overload. This one's a doozy. There's a famous study by Sheena Iyengar that showed shoppers presented with 24 different jam options were less likely to buy than those faced with only 6. Think about it. When you're overwhelmed by too many choices, it can paralyze you. Companies know this and bombard you with options, which can lead you to default to the safe choices, like the best sellers or the featured products. You think you're exploring all your options, but in reality, you're being funneled toward what the company wants you to buy. It's like being in a maze where the exit is cleverly disguised. Let's not forget about scarcity tactics. You know those messages that read, "Only 2 left in stock." They're not just there for decoration. They tap into our fear of missing out or FOMO, creating an urgency that may not even exist. Robert Cialdini, in his book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, explains how scarcity amplifies perceived value. You might find yourself rushing to buy something, skipping thorough research or reflection, all because of a little urgency. It's a clever trick that plays on our emotions, making us act impulsively rather than thoughtfully. And speaking of emotions, let's discuss the bandwagon effect. Ever seen those tags that say, 500 people bought this today, or top 10 in your country? They create the illusion that everyone is choosing a particular product, and suddenly, you feel the need to conform. Netflix is a master at this with its popularity tags. It's a subtle push that makes you prioritize what others are buying or watching, as if your choice is validated by the crowd. It's social proof at its finest, and it can lead you to decisions you might not have made if you were thinking independently. Then we have framing and loss aversion. Companies are experts at framing choices in ways that make losses feel more significant than gains. For example, they might say, save $100 by subscribing annually, which makes you feel like you're losing money if you opt for the monthly plan. Nobel laureates Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky demonstrated that people are more motivated to avoid losses than to achieve equivalent gains. So, you end up manipulated into choosing plans that seem like savings, even if they don't align with what you truly want or need. So how do we regain control in this landscape of manipulation? First, pause and reflect. When you face urgency or pre-selected options, take a moment to question the intent behind what you're seeing. Why is that option highlighted? What are they trying to sell you? Second, compare alternatives. Step back and research other competitors or options to avoid being anchored or framed into a specific choice. Third, be aware of your biases. Recognizing strategies like scarcity or social proof can significantly reduce their power over your decisions. In conclusion, the illusion of choice isn't just a marketing gimmick. It's a calculated application of behavioral science designed to influence your decisions. By understanding how companies manipulate options, you can take back control and make choices that truly serve your needs and values. The next time you shop, remember, the freedom to choose doesn't always mean freedom from influence. It's time to reclaim your decision-making power and navigate this landscape with a discerning eye.